Hi, I'm Aiden Ross. Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday. Today we have Suntory Whiskey Toki, which, if you didn't know, Ryan, actually means whale. So let's get on with the show.
Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday. I'm Evan, your cook. This is Ryan, the trophy husband, and that's Aiden, the rookie.
Really? Whatever he would like to cook. So,
To be fair, in the past he's come up with things like ostrich
yeah.
and pterodactyl.
I stand by what I said. And we both know a guy. We both do. Right. No one misses an ostrich, okay? They're evil, evil birds.
Thank you for joining us. The best whiskey is your favorite.
The best barbecue is the way you like it.
Make sure you share both.
Cheers. And it's rectangular, and it goes with the rectangular grains.
It's son of a...
Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday. This is Ryan, your cook.
This is Evan, the neighbor, the trophy husband, and the guy that brings people who, are questionable backgrounds.
Let's start out with a 64 Chevy C10. Picture that. But it doesn't have a fuel system, it doesn't have brakes, it doesn't have a charging system, it doesn't have a coolant system, and it has what almost looks like a windshield.
No fan hood. Continue.
No fan hood. You've got to get that from the back of a salvage yard onto a trailer and then into your garage. It will work if you take carburetor fluid and spray it directly into the carburetor.
Everybody meet Aiden.
Hi. My feet were about 6 inches away from turning me into Lieutenant Dan without the ice cream or the medals. Just fans, blood, and pain.
Now, mind you, sitting in the engine compartment with the carb spray, this wasn't something he did once.
Nope.
Twice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
first time was going forwards, though, so that was pretty nice. Although it backfired, and I know I lost mine, so he probably lost his.
I was rolling on the ground laughing.
But then going backwards, or attempting to, because I revved the engine, dropped the clutch, and we didn't move.
Neutral.
And I knew the whole time because fans got faster. Continue.
We made it almost to the garage, and then this guy here decided that the hood wasn't going to make it into the garage, so he starts shutting the hood on the guy in the...
I shut it like 6 or 8 inches.
Let me tell you about 6 or 8 inches. Let me tell
The hood was going to hit the entrance in the garage.
I will destroy his entire garage before I put my head near
We
that
made
thing.
it, though, right?
We did.
Sits in my garage, and life is good, is it not?
Sits-ish.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. Aiden, thank you for being here this evening. What did you bring us?
I brought Suntory whiskey, which was full.
Take 3.
And now this is pre-poured, so we're not going with Hobbit pours or Monster pours.
So,
From the last take.
whenever you think Japan, what do you think?
I'm going to have to go with some Kill Bill.
I do love Tarantino. However, most people think sake. Now, that would be undermining the sheer amount of crafts that Japan has gone through, whether it was bladesmithing, obviously, everyone's heard about the katana, the samurai sword, to calligraphy, to hundreds of other things. And one of those things is whiskey. And they pour their heart and soul into things like this, and it really shows. And I think you guys will like it.
I would not associate Japan with whiskey. Whiskey Scotland, yes. Whiskey Japan, not so much.
I'm just curious, how much time have you spent in Japan?
Cumulative, I'd say about 15 months. I did 7-ish months in Yokosuka, Japan, in the greater Kanto Plain region. I did 7 months in Okinawa, where I did a lot of time in the sun.
All right, so me being the geek of the group, here's a little bit of geek speak. So the Suntory Whiskey Toki is a blended whiskey from Japan. It's made from whiskey from 3 different distilleries in Japan. The Yamazaki, Hakushu, and Chita distilleries.
This is brilliant.
You can...
No, I get it. I'm not necessarily a whiskey connoisseur. What I'm saying is that I like it. That's all I'm saying. In my opinion, that's fine. Discounted if you want.
It is very good. I like it. You can find this at most of your major liquor stores. You're looking at about $40 a bottle.
I got this at Specs, so I'd imagine that most other Specs, since they tend to carry similar stock, I'd really recommend trying them or any similar establishment, but I'm sorry.
Or, like always, just ask your local booze monger and see if they can get it for you.
Yeah, I found this actually next door to a grocery store in the panhandle of Florida. So pretty much the middle of nowhere, and they had it locally, so you'll be able to find this. And I did learn, you'll be proud of me, Suntory recently acquired one of the major players in Scotland that makes whiskey.
Nice.
So they are making a major play to become a world-renowned whiskey maker.
Personally, I can't wait to try the Japanese Scotland Scotch. Not a joke. I really can't wait.
So, contrary to popular belief and more whiskey geek stuff, Toki does not mean whale. It doesn't, believe it or not.
Whoever said that, let me tell you.
Yeah, don't have that guy over.
Yeah, ever.
So, anybody guess what Toki actually means?
Whale.
Sorry, I wouldn't know.
I don't like either one of y'all. So, Toki is Japanese for time, which, as with all whiskeys, is, a thing.
The closest I would have gotten was token, but that's only because Toki is the first really part of that. The beginning taste, not a whole lot going on, but as you keep it in there as time goes on, if you will, then it kind of livens up a bit.
To me, it feels like a cool breeze on a hot summer day in Japan.
For me, good nose, a little sweet. It's not your Irish, it's not a Scotch, it's not an Islay Scotch. I mean, understand there is not any smoke in this at all.
There's not any smoke in it.
It's I don't want to say fruity, but it's a little sweet on the front end. It's a good flavor all the way
I
through.
wouldn't say fruity, but I would say sweet.
Well, yeah, it has a sweet flavor, but it's not fruity at all. It's just nice. It's smooth. This is not a whiskey that's going to grab you and manhandle you. This is not a whiskey you're going to have to try whenever you're drinking it. It's just a smooth.
It's definitely not a bourbon, which we did last episode. We did a bourbon.
Yes.
And this is far from that.
Yeah, it's night and day compared to Rebecca Creek.
Japan being a sort of an island nation, I really can't say I'm fully surprised because you can kind of feel the islandy, just very breezy taste throughout the whiskey in general. It's just very easygoing.
What you said earlier, they make an art out of a lot of stuff, and I'll say that in the tourism market, I got to spend a week there, not 15 months, and it was amazing. Their trains are within 6 seconds of being on that scheduled time, and they're like, they have to make that faster, is their thinking. Anyway, enough about me rambling on, shall we?
So, remember how we talked about last week, whenever we did the Rebecca Creek, somebody was supposed to set up things for a draw, but they just kind of randomly picked stuff.
Yeah, somebody randomly picked stuff.
We also talked about that if somebody brings us a bottle of whiskey, that we will reward them. I don't know if we can call it reward, but we'll say thank you.
Oh, that's a good one.
By reward?
No, I like thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you works. So we'll give them a thank you by teaching them whatever they want to cook. Now, again, remember, this was full when he got here. Couple attempts later.
Yeah, because of Ryan, obviously.
In that regard, to say thank you, what is it that you would like to learn how to cook?
I'd say pulled pork on kettle.
Pulled pork on a kettle?
Yeah.
Awesome. I thought you were going to say some large land living bird.
Thank goodness.
We can go down that road.
No, we're not
We
going down that
can.
road.
Okay.
All right, so this weekend we get to cook some pork on a
Pulled pork. So it's going to be a pork butt.
okay pork butt
Yes.
on a Weber kettle,
Yes.
and that let's see, the last pork cook that we did took about 30 minutes. So this one I'm gonna guess is gonna take about an hour. Yeah.
Per pound.
What?
Yeah.
Right?
What?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
thing. So a pork butt is normally 8 to 9 pounds, 6 on the small end, and you're looking at about an hour per pound. So what we're going to do is on a Weber kettle, we're going to set up something called a snake cook or a snake smoke or a snake setup, whatever you want to call it. Don't worry, whenever we do the video, it's going to be a 2-part thing. We're going to have the actual cook, and we're going to have another setup for how you set the grill and everything up. Yes, Aiden.
Why do you call it like a snake?
Because it's long and thin. Snake.
And it burns.
No,
We're going to
guess
talk about that.
You're stacking up the charcoal, or
Yes, we're stacking charcoal. Whole nother video. Not enough time to
okay.
go into it here.
yeah.
I'm excited for 10 hours of cooking. This is gonna be super.
I'm excited for him having to go through 10 hours of video editing.
It's all right,
Even more super.
I happened to find a whiskey that only cost $14, so we'll be okay. There's no way that could go wrong.
I don't know if I'll make it through the entire cook, but you know,
I don't even know if I'll make it with pants.
here we go.
Pork butt this weekend. We'll set up the grill. It'll have the snake on it, and we'll post another how-to video that we'll link to, and you can go and see that. Would like to invite you to reach out to us on the socials. We are at Whiskey and Barbecue across most of the major platforms, including, and I have got to give kudos to Distiller.
Yes.
Distiller.com. They've also got an app for iOS and Android, and they have collaborated with us because their writing is pretty darn good.
Can I talk about the distiller for a second?
Please do.
All right, so distiller, if you are a whiskey drinker and if you were somebody that's like me, that likes going to whiskey bars and trying new things, or if friends bring bottles over and you like trying new things, but you only get a taste or two or, some, half the bottle. Anyway, out of these things, Distiller's a great app for you to use because you can keep your tasting notes in it. Me personally, I've probably tried over 100 different whiskeys, and I can't remember all of them. I can't.
He goes to whiskey bars.
I do go to whiskey
samples
bars.
them, and then puts them in notebooks. But now there's an app for that.
There is an app, and I've gone through a bunch of apps, and I like Distiller, nice interface. So
Very pretty.
anyway, find us on Distiller, Whiskey and Barbecue, all one word, nothing else, nothing fancy, no E.
Whiskey, no E.
Now, I'll actually piggyback off of that. If you're like me, you don't like to have a huge. You don't like to have a huge amount of options, and a lot of times they'll ask you many technical questions that you're either not prepared or not willing to answer. Distiller streamlines a lot of that, and they really just make it so you can find the best drink for you in the quickest possible way with the least amount of frustration, and that's what I found that I loved about it.
Makes a whole lot of sense.
Or you can try a bunch of stuff and keep your own notes, which is what I do.
Feel free to make a comment below. You can also hit us info@whiskeyandbarbecue.com if there is a whiskey that you want us to try, or if there is a cook that you would like us to do, and post it. We can do that. No, I didn't throw you under the bus.
Yet.
Aiden, thank you so much for bringing the Suntory Whiskey Toki.
Of course.
Remember, the best whiskey is your favorite.
The best barbecue is the way that you like it.
Make sure to share both.
Cheers.
Song Parker's Mood is literally one of the best jazz songs, or jazz solos I've ever. That's relatively close.
Not
Sound.
even remotely close.
This will make great credits rolling, you know.
For as good as a guitar player you
You're horrible at
that.
Play a hell of a kazoo, though. Let me tell you.
Oh, sidebar for Aiden. Our entry music and our exit music, him. Because we're cheap.
And I have guitars and I like whiskey, so it's easy to change.